Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes and
Moose Mike.
So welcome back to all our returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give us a thumbie. They are free. So we have popped back to answer your questions because last week I put out a video saying, are there any questions you would like to ask us, because we have had an influx of newbies to the channel and there may be things you want to know. So we're going for it. Now obviously if questions come in after we have filmed this video, I will make a note of them and put them in the next time we do this. But we have got plenty to be getting on with. Some of you were super keen and gave us more than one. So are you ready? Just to let you know, yes, I wrote the questions down, but I have not pre-planned my answers and Mike hasn't even seen them. So this is going to be off the cuff, okay? So the first question is from Adrian Gilfillan, and she says, what is your favourite meal to eat?
English cottage pie.
Yes, and you're going to have to explain that because across the ponders don't know what it is.
Cottage pie is basically ground beef, as you would call it, or minced beef as we call it.
Yeah.
Onions, garlic. You could put some carrots and peas in there if you want to.
I don't put garlic in mine.
And then the cottage pie mix, if you're making it from scratch, would be tomato puree, gravy, like brown
Beef,
gravy,
brown
beef
gravy. I put frozen peas in mine as well.
Yeah. And then
you
topped
can put
with mash.
You can put any veg, can't you? We don't.
Yeah.
But you can put carrots and sweet corn.
Yeah, most people do. But topped with
mashed
potato and a healthy smattering of cheese on the top and baked in the oven.
Cheese is optional. Not everyone puts cheese on theirs, but we do. It is absolutely banging. It is really delicious. And yes, it is Mike's favourite. He'd eat it every night if he could. So for me, I have peaks and troughs of what I want to eat and what I don't. Food isn't so much of a big deal for me anymore. It used to be. I used to be a lot fluffier than what I am now. And then, without going into too many details, the boy's dad left me. I dropped a considerable amount of weight, didn't do it in a very healthy way, and since then I haven't really had an appetite like I used to. But I can eat. When I am in the mood, I can eat. And I do get affected by being hangry from time to time, but I do generally eat a lot less than what I used to. Now, one of my favourite meals is to have salmon fillets that you put in aluminum foil. Tin foil, as we call it. And just bake those in the oven, so they're in kind of like their own steaming pouch. And then new potatoes, which are the tiny little baby whole potatoes, and normally salad. Sometimes I like veg, but normally salad. And then a hollandaise sauce. That is a favourite. Another favourite of mine is lasagna. Always has been, always will be. But my peak favourite meal that I only get to have once a year is my Christmas dinner, my Christmas gobble goose turkey, for those of you that haven't been here for a while. But my turkey roast dinner on Christmas Day with all the trimmings is my absolute...
Well, since you've given them so many food menu meals, I'm going to add some to mine. Cottage pie is my home-cooked favourite.
Okay.
If I go to a restaurant, it's steak. Preferably rump. But, yes. Steak, peppercorn sauce, chips and onion rings.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
I can't eat it like that. I very rarely eat steak because I very rarely get a hankering for it. But when I do, I have to have it well done. And Mike is just like, sacrilege. That's not how you cook steak. And probably a lot of you watching are feeling the exact same way. But don't worry, I don't have it very often. So... Okay, so Old Mama 56 asks, how did you come to know so much about the United States? This channel. Literally, this channel. It put me in touch with a lot of people from the US, and actually there is a bigger US community in the crafting YouTube streets than there is UK. And a lot of the US people that I came into contact with have become super good friends of ours, and just by speaking to them, you know, behind the scenes on video chats, watching some of their content, figuring out your ways of saying things and the words you use and the terminology and your geography. I'm still not great at that. You might all remember the Arkansas saga. And the fact that I keep saying Michigan instead of Michigan, you know, all of those types of things. And that has been through lives as well, because a lot of my viewers are from the US. That holds the biggest percentage of my viewers. So naturally, I watch a lot of US yarny content. I do watch UK content too, but it is much more predominant over in the States. And just over the course of time, things have just soaked in and I've remembered, and in my subconscious, I don't know, but basically this channel is how I know what I know, and I really don't even know a lot, but there we go.
For me, it's the channel, but that just solidified stuff that I already knew and added to it.
I knew some of it, but
basically watching a lot of films that were made in America.
Yeah, all of the above.
And lots of it has rings of truth, like how to pronounce certain places.
Yeah. And I watch things like Friends. I'm a massive Friends fan, and that just over the course of our lifetime, we have come into contact with a lot of American sitcoms and TV shows and movies, like Mike was saying. And now with this channel, a lot of you guys who watch us are from the US. A lot of our friends are from the US, so it just keeps building.
I watch a lot of US YouTube as well.
Yeah, so it just keeps building from the connections we are making. And the things that we are watching in our spare time, basically. Okay, Faith would like to know, how many pets do we have? And I'll let Mike answer, because some of these are for just me, so I'll be doing most of the talking. But I'll let Mike answer that one.
7.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
A cat, a dog, and 4 kids.
Well, that makes 6.
6, sorry.
So no, we don't.
And me, clearly.
Yeah.
7.
No, we have 2. We have 1 dog and 1 cat. Our cat is a ginger Tom, and not a lot can be said about him other than he got a funny name because my little lad at the time couldn't say Elmo properly, so it turned out to be Melmo.
And for a little ginger Tom, he is an absolute beast.
He is quite a big cat, to be fair. My dad said that he should have been called Target, because there is like a target on the side of his body, like dartboard, or you know when you do bows and arrows and stuff. But no, he's called Melmo, courtesy of one of my children. And then we have Rolo the dog, and he is a Border Terrier, cross Lakeland Terrier. Isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but we love him anyway. Rolo is how old? 9?
No, 8.
No, he's 9. Pretty sure he's 9. Anyway, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in that region. He's getting on a bit. Melmo is 11. So yeah, Rolo is 9 because we got him 2 years later. So there you go. Melmo's 11, Rolo's 9. So our pets are getting on, and we have already had the discussion that when they go over the Rainbow Bridge, we will not be having any pets for a while because they are a tie. And with the kids getting older as well, Mike and I, selfishly, when we're able to in a few years' time, would like to travel a little bit and see a bit of the world while we can, and we're young enough to enjoy it. So the pets are going to be put on hold until maybe our retirement, but we do love our pets and we are pleased to have them. Okay, Knitting Purple has 3 questions for us. What would you like to learn, both in crochet or anything non-crochet? So for me, eventually I want to design my own patterns. I am nowhere near that stage, do not have the time or the commitment to put in it, but I would like to design stuff at some point in the future. That's the crochet part of it. And non-crochet, there's lots I need to learn. That's a real cop-out answer, but there is lots I need to learn. I have always wanted to learn a language, like, so that I am fluent. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And strangely enough, I've always wanted to learn how to drive a bus. Maybe I'll do that one day. There we go. There's an answer. I don't know if that's like definitive, but that's all I can pluck from my brain right now.
I don't have anything I would like to learn in crochet. I think I've got to a point where I can just continue. And if I do learn anything, happy days. But non-crochet, I don't really know. I mean, I do want to do some survival things, but like really actually do it and not just think I can.
He'll be doing it on his own.
But yeah, I suppose that would be it.
Okay, the next one is, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
So for me, it would be Alaska.
It was Alaska before we had friends in Alaska, let me just point out. Tell them why.
Well, I just like snow, wilderness.
Moose.
Well, not the moose is a happy thing, yeah, but I think I prefer that sort of lifestyle.
Not everyone lives in a cabin in the woods.
No, I
in
know,
Alaska.
but that's what I like, so.
Okay, there's loads of places in the world where I would like to go, and I could be here all day listing them, and to pick one is really, really hard. But at the top of my list, and it has been on the top of my list for a very, very long time, is I want to go to New York at Christmas. I want to have the Home Alone experience. Not literally me home alone in New York, but I want to be in Times Square at Christmas time to see the huge Christmas tree and just the vibe and the hustle and the bustle, and to just say that I've been there around Christmas time. And then if I can extend it into New Year and watch the ball drop, that's going to be an experience as well, because that's only something that I've seen on the telly or in movies. So I've always wanted to go to New York at Christmas time. So I'm going to leave that there. But there are millions of other places. The world is a big place, guys. How can you narrow it down? But we have for the purposes of that question. And then, if you could have a craft night / dinner party and invite anyone, either real, fictional, famous or historical, who would you invite? If we're allowed people that have already passed away, I would like to have dinner with Robin Williams. I think that would be a hoot. And I know that he wasn't hilarious all the time, and it was his job, and you know, he kind of struggled with that sort of thing, but I do think he just comes across as a genuinely lovely man, and I would have liked the opportunity to have met him. So if he could come to my dinner party, I'd like him. They can be current, they don't have to be passed away. Anyone famous that you would really like to meet, have around your dinner table? There's probably a few that I wouldn't even allow into my house for dinner, but like Snoop Dogg. No offense, Snoop Dogg, but no thank you.
I don't know. Fictional, I'll go with fictional because it's easy.
Why? There's loads of famous people that you'd probably love to have dinner with as well, like
Maybe,
Eminem and
but...
Jacksepticeye and...
Yeah, I suppose.
Come on, there's loads of people you aspire.
I would like to have PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye all in one room.
I'll go out for the night. I'm sure they're lovely blokes, but if all they're going to do is talk about gaming, I'm going to be
awesome.
very bored. So I'll come back when dinner's over, when you've done most of your entertaining and most of your chat about gaming, and then I'll have a couple of adult beverages with them and just talk about normal stuff. How about that?
Yeah, fine.
But I've only picked one.
That would be hilarious.
It probably would be a very hilarious night. We would definitely have to get babysitters as well. Yeah. So yeah, Robin Williams. Who else would I like around my dinner table? Who would I like to pick the brains of? I mean, I'm not going to pick anyone currently in the YouTube Yarny streets because A, my table's not big enough, and B, I'll forget to mention someone and then they'll get all their feelings hurt. So we're not going to go down the Yarny YouTube streets at the moment with that question. But yeah, I was absolutely gutted to hear about Robin Williams, and I'd love to meet that man. Probably Chandler from Friends as well, because he's just recently passed away. I think that would be quite a nice dinner as well. If you know I don't like joke, make a joke. I'm not going to be like that. They are normal people.
It'd be awesome to have all of the cast.
The cast of Friends. Now, what a dinner party that would be. Do you know what? I'm going to use that. Thank you very much. The cast of Friends. There we go, because I am a massive Friends fan. Or maybe some of the actors that played the main characters for Harry Potter. I'll have them round for dinner as well. Why not? Okay, the next question comes from Shirley Brown 77, and she says, how did you get so popular in the US? Now, that is a matter of perception. I don't think I am that popular compared to other people's standards. But it's not a numbers game. It's not a competition. I am very grateful for all of my US Yarny friends and family. But it's similar to the other question of how do I know so much about the States? That is literally just walking these YouTube streets, going to people's lives, introducing myself, people getting to know me through my channel. Just those kinds of interactions. And like I said, the biggest percentage of my viewers are from the US. So it just stands to reason that the majority of people that I converse with are from the US.
And I'm a novelty, so that's how I got
Yeah,
popular.
I do think there was an element of that to begin with as well, because there aren't as many UK crochet people within the streets that we walk. So I think the novelty factor of our accent, we're a little bit, what's the word, exotic, because we're not the norm. We have, you know, different traditions and different ways of doing things, different words for things. All of that is kind of like a novelty factor as well. And everyone to begin with is like, I love your accent. I wish you could like talk to me all the time and stuff. So there is the novelty element there as well. Diane English has a few questions for us. That is Diane English 4016. She says, when did you and Mike learn to crochet? Me, about 10 years ago, from a wonderful friend. She did classes. I took my nan, thinking my nan might like to learn because she does knit. She didn't get on with crochet, and she was the only one around the table in the end that was knitting while the rest of us were learning crochet. I did it just as a thing to do with my nan and to support my friend, and as soon as I picked up that hook and that yarn, pardon the pun, I was hooked. I had been bewitched, and the rest is history.
And I learned 2 years ago.
Yes, it will be 2 years in April, and it was me that taught him.
Yes.
And you guys have been along for the ride, so most of you know how Mike learnt. When did you become interested in doing amigurumi? Well, funnily enough, my first amigurumi, I believe I made for you. It was one of the hero bears.
Yes.
While we were going through the C word that we can't mention on YouTube, there was a pattern going around for hero bears, and I decided to try my hand at it as a little mascot for Mike, because he still had to go out to work every day because he was one of the frontline workers. And it was just a little mascot of a bear in his blue scrubs wearing a mask to make him feel like he wasn't alone out in that scary world at that scary time, and that a part of me was with him even though I wasn't. I was at home homeschooling the children, slowly going insane. So I only actually made my first amigurumi in 2020. And since then, my skills have completely changed. Now, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I will show you that hero bear again very, very soon and compare it with one of my most recent ones, and you will see how far I've come. Because the blue bear now is just embarrassing. But yeah.
I was interested, and I did give it a go. I've lost interest, and I am no longer.
He became interested because he has always said to me that my amigurumis are second to none. He doesn't see hardly anyone else make anything as good in his opinion. He was really loving the amigurumi that I was churning out, and he was like, well, I now know how to crochet. I want to make 3D things. And he tried, and then the coup broke him.
Yes. The coup.
And going back to me, I just thought, well, I've dabbled in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I want to try something new, and I want to see if I can make something 3D, because everything I've made so far is flat. So I gave it a whirl, and You've been along for the ride mostly ever since. Do any of your boys crochet or show an interest in learning? Liam learned in that period of time where the world shut down, and he was really into it during that lockdown phase, because obviously we were all stuck at home, limited to how often we could go out, had to entertain ourselves. And he was very avid into crochet at that point because it was a new skill that he had learned. It was a new interest. But obviously as the world started opening up again and we were going back to our normal routines, it kind of went by the wayside, and now he hardly ever does it. But he did learn, he did have an interest, and he has the most appreciation for crochet out of all the children. And with a little refresher, he could probably pick up a hook again, and once I get him going, he'd be able to do it. He did do a lot of his own creations as well. He wasn't interested in following a pattern.
No.
He found that boring and limiting. He just grabbed some yarn out of my stash and his hooks, and away he went, and he came down with lots of his own creations. I mean, we've had everything from Thor to Hulk to the little Among Us alien thingies. He's done all sorts.
Yep.
He did it from the top of his head, and I have shown them on the channel before. So yeah, he did, but you know, Xboxes and real life and everything snuck back in, and that was the end of that one. And the other two, no, they don't have any interest. Merrymaker, I missed it last time. I want to know when and how you and Mike met. Cheers, Becca. Let me finish my tea and I will tell you the story. So what had happened was I'm going to try and give you the abridged version because we have discussed this several times on the channel before. If you want more detail, Becca, you might want to go back on my videos and find the other question and answer videos where it was asked last time, where I went into an awful lot of detail. But this time I'm going to give you the abridged version because we've got a lot of other questions to answer. The boy's dad left me in August 2017. I had recently started a new job and it was coming up to December, and we had all booked in for a works do. The works do for the company I was working for included a night at a hotel, 3-course dinner, disco, and then breakfast the next morning, and off you go on your merry little way. So I paid to go before the boy's dad left in the August. And then as it was approaching the December, I was in two minds as to whether I really wanted to go. I wasn't in a very good place. Wasn't really feeling happy or festive, as you can imagine. But they all persuaded me, and I did end up going. And it was in a hotel down in Newquay, which is about an hour away from us, hour to hour and a half, depending on traffic. And while we were there, we had the dinner, we got all dolled up and, you know, all the thing, and had dinner. And then we were obviously drinking a lot of adult beverages, as you do at a work Christmas party. And we're all adults, you know, it's fine. And my manager at the time, I can't remember whether it was her or another of my colleagues, it was someone I worked with, opened up the door to the bar, because we were outside on the terrace, opened up the door to the bar and yelled at the top of their voice, "Who wants to kiss my mate?" And I'm laughing because I'm like, well, who's this mate? They're setting me up, but I had no clue because I was a little bit drunk and whatever. Who comes through the door?
Me.
So it was really awkward, like painfully awkward. I was getting egged on by my work colleagues. I didn't want to lose face because they had set me up, and if I had pulled out, I would have been like, oh, party pooper. So I was like, well, I'm not letting you kiss me unless you at least buy me a drink first. So he said, what do you want? And I said, anything, surprise me. That was my first mistake. Goes back to the bar and gets me a neat Jack Daniels, I believe, whiskey. Manfa doesn't do whiskey in any way, shape or form. So that was the next mistake, because I thought he would go for a girly drink, seeing as he's buying it for a girl, but no. So then, anyway, I whacked the whiskey back my neck, we had a kiss, then we got chatting. It's all a little bit of a blur, because I was annihilated that night. I was the drunkest I have been in a very long time, to the point where the next day, we'll skip forward and then we'll come back. The next day, I had to stay all day down there trying to sober up so I was safe enough to drive. I was annihilated. So anyway, Mike and I got talking outside for most of the night. It turned out that Mike used to work for my mum. What a small world. So my mum knew Mike before even I did. I gave him my number and said, don't tell my mum, which was funny. And then he decided to bugger off out into Newquay to go clubbing, and he invited me. But I'm like, this is the first time I've met you. You could be a serial killer. No, it's all right. I'm going to stay within the safety of the hotel. And if you call me, great. If not, whatever. So he went out clubbing and I carried on drinking, and then a lot of my workmates disappeared up to bed. There was a bit of a sticky situation, which Mike ended up being my knight in shining armour. I'm not going to go into too many details about that, but basically someone Mike knew wouldn't take no for an answer, so Mike stepped in and told him no means no, maybe with his fists a little bit, not that we condone violence. So he was my knight in shining armour, and he saved me, and it was all romantical with beer goggles on. And then I was like, thank you very much, you know, blah, blah. Went upstairs to bed, getting ready for bed, and my phone's ringing, and it's this one, and he basically pulled a fast one on me because he knew I was absolutely off my nut.
Don't say it like that.
And he said, you know how I saved you? I was like, yeah, I really appreciate it. He was like, yeah, well, my ear's bleeding and it won't stop, so I need someone to come and help me. So, yeah, Manfa went to his room. One thing led to another. Woke up the next morning. I'd even offered to give him a lift the next day, but then he ditched me. And I had to spend the whole day sobering up anyway. Had a horrific car journey home. Thought that was going to be that. I have never had a one-night stand in my life. Ever. He was supposed to be that. He's still here 6 years later, guys. So Manfa still has never had a one-night stand. I can still call myself a lady, okay? And that's no judgment to anyone that does. You do you. But for me, it's never happened. It was supposed to. But cut a long story short, after that, about a week later, he had tried calling me all week. Eventually got through to me, asked me out on a date, went on a date. Haven't been separated since, really. And now we're here 6 years later. So it was a drunken works do, because he was there with his work. Can I just point out, I was with my work family, he was with his work family. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He took someone else's place that had pulled out. So I wasn't meant to be there. He wasn't meant to be there. We both ended up being there. We both ended up getting together, and the rest is history. There we go. But there was a lot of alcohol involved. So there you go, Merrymaker. I always get really embarrassed when people ask that story, because it's not the romantical, he opened a door for me in Selfridges or something. It's no.
Both got hammered.
Drunken debauchery that has lasted 6 years. Anyway, right, Elizabeth from Igor Knits. She asked questions. Okay, so let's get through these as quick as we can. What are your top 5 favourite candies from the US and your top 5 non-US candies? I can't give you a top 5 favourite US candy because we have still got so many to try. All I'm going to say is I really do not like your guys' chocolate. It is not chocolate. It is gross. I do not like Oreos. They're gross.
It's not really candy though.
But chocolate bar can be considered candy bars.
But not Oreo.
So, well, whatever. I like English chocolate. I always will like English chocolate. I do not like American chocolate. And I don't like the fact that a lot of your chocolate has peanut butter with it. Like, nearly all of it. It's just not a thing here. And it's not my favourite. there have been candies that we've been given that we like. So I like things like the Mike and Ike's that we've had before, and the Sour Patch Kids, and help me.
I don't know them. I've eaten all of them and thought they were all okay.
Yeah, there's not really very many stand out. I think, and I don't mean this to be any kind of way other than you asked a question and I'm trying to be honest. I think our candy blows yours out the water pretty much right across the board. And if you want to see that as a challenge, feel free. I like sour sweets. I like gummies. I like our chocolate. That's pretty much my remit, isn't it? Gummies, sour sweets, and chocolate. That's pretty much my cup of tea. Mike likes gummies as well. You're quite partial to your gummies. You do like your chocolate. Mike's even more of a chocolate fiend than me. I can't eat too much chocolate at one time, and we'll just leave that there.
I do like chocolate.
Yeah,
I am more of a...
He likes dark chocolate and salted caramel and things like that. He likes the weird flavours.
Dark chocolate's okay. It's not my favourite.
No, but you like it better than I do.
Unless it's like a Belgian truffle or something like that.
I've just noticed we're both in navy. That wasn't planned, guys. So,
Belgian dark chocolate truffles or something like that. Oh.
I do like my Gillians. My Gillians, as you call them.
Gillians, yeah.
Anyway, we're getting... You distracted us, Elizabeth. We are very happy to try anything that anyone sends us, always. But so far, there hasn't been anything that I am like...
I prefer your savoury stuff.
Yeah, me too. What are your favourite scents? Now, do you mean perfume? Do you mean just smells in general? Like... So some of my favourite smells, I don't know if you meant perfume or not, but if it is perfume, for me to wear, I like vanilla tones and I like fruity tones. I'm not big into the florals. I like more fruity and like sweet rather than floral. If we're going for just generic smells, I love freshly baked bread, baking. So if people are making cakes and cookies and that kind of stuff, I love the smell of that. Bacon. Fried onions and bacon, that is another one. I do like the smell of freshly cut grass as well. If someone's mowing the lawn on a summer's evening, that is quite nice. The smell of someone else's barbecue. Mainly food. Can you sense a theme here? But like I said, I do like fruity smells. So like with my cleaning stuff, I would rather berries and apples. I don't like citrus. Citrus is not one of Manfa's favourite scents, especially lemon. I do not like the smell of lemon very much. Yeah, what about you? Your smells, you love freshly ground coffee and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, coffee. I even actually like the smell of petrol.
Oh, that makes me gip.
Food.
Not any. All of the above, apart from fish. You ain't keen on fish.
Hate fish, and I hate the smell of fish as well.
That's what I mean, apart from fish. Fish is your main... Because there are what scents make you feel ill or really bother you underneath that. I cannot do petrol or diesel, which your guys would be gasoline. I cannot do what we call creosote, which you put on garden fences and stuff, or turpentine. I don't know what your equivalent would be, but the stuff to protect your fences in all weathers. Can't be dealing with that. I don't really like the smell of nail varnish remover either. Hate the smell of coffee. Makes me feel sick. He loves it. People keep sending it to him.
Stinking the house out.
Coffee I cannot bear. And there's this seasoning that you put on your food a while back that really knocks me sick, and I don't know what it is. Is it the jerk seasoning you had? Which seasoning was it?
No, it's just chicken seasoning.
It really just made...
Chicken seasoning with lemon, I think.
Well, there you go. It's got lemon in it as well. I don't like lemon.
Or lime.
But it doesn't bother me in a sense of it gives me a headache or anything like that. I know a few of my friends have got real sensitivities to smells. They can invoke migraines and stuff. It doesn't affect me like that. A lot of smells do make me feel sick.
Not a lot of smells make me feel sick, except maybe cat poo.
Yeah. It's not a favourite.
No, that one makes me urge.
So funny.
I suppose Gone Off Milk is another one.
Oh yeah, that's gross, and I deal with that a lot at work.
Yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting. And fish, he can't.
I can't stand fish, but it doesn't make me feel gippy.
And the smell of eggs sometimes is just a little bit.
Yeah, after
you know.
cooked it.
And we live out in the country, right? So there's lots of farms, and I cannot do manure
I don't
or
mind the
silage.
farm smell.
I can't do it, and I've lived in the country all my life.
Cat poo gets me every time.
Yeah, all right. Let's move away from the animal muck. So there are a few. Okay. Do you ever walk while crocheting? No, because
No.
Manfa will end up tripping over, hurting herself, dropping it in the mud or something.
I haven't got the skills to do that.
No, I've not attempted that one. What are your favourite TV shows? Way too many to mention, but can I just point out that since I've had this channel, our telly viewing has diminished quite a lot, and mostly we are watching our separate YouTubes on our phones.
Yes.
There are a few series that Mike and I have enjoyed watching together, such as The Walking Dead, The Crown, Once Upon a Time, Orange is the New Black,
I've seen a lot more.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Gotta get Stranger Things in there. That was epic.
That was good.
But most of our viewing is our separate YouTubes on our phone. But if there's series that come out that pique our interest, we will sometimes just go, right, we need to get this watched.
And actually, I haven't been watching YouTube recently.
No, so...
I've been watching my anime.
But from back in the day, Friends, I've watched it a million times over. There are a lot of English sitcoms and shows that you guys will have never heard of, so there's no point really speaking about them. TV was a big part of my life for a long time, but it's not been for quite a while. But you can kind of get a theme of what we watch from what we've said. Favourite movie? Oh, I hate answering that question. It's really, really hard.
It is hard, but...
Really, really hard.
I suppose... I could name a favourite from each genre.
No, just one favourite movie.
Well, there is none.
I can't pick one.
There's bad ones and there's really good ones. Can't say I have a favourite.
For me, a movie is how I'm feeling. So if I'm in the mood for light relief romantic comedy, there will be my favourites in that genre that we'll put on, or we'll try and find a new one that we haven't seen. If we're in the mood for a scary movie, we have our favourites in that genre. We'll either put one of our, tried and tested on, or we'll try and find a new one. And actually, we haven't been able to find a decent scary movie for a long time that we haven't already seen. Just seems like the new movies are just like, they need to up their game. Or if I need to have like a weepy movie, he got me good with The Notebook. I'd never seen it before. Yeah. And another one, Shutter Island. I've never seen that before. That has a brilliant twist if you haven't seen that. But there's lots, and there's like old school favourites. Like I've always got a soft spot in my heart for Titanic, Forrest Gump, Green Mile. Lots of classics. Like I just cannot pinpoint it to one. Like there are favourites. We've seen the Harry Potter movies a million times over, and we're still happy to get them out and watch them again.
Yeah.
There's just so many that I cannot just pick one. So sorry to be a cop out, but
no, I like all sorts.
Yeah, and it does depend on mood, what kind of feeling you've got. What is something you still want to learn how to do? Well, we kind of answered that up with knitting purple. There's lots of stuff that I should already know to do and I haven't learned how to do them, such as change my tyre on my car, or how to change a fuse in a plug, or knowing the difference between the different light bulb fittings that we need and stuff like that. But you know what? I have a brilliant mum that has always been able to rescue me in those situations, and now Mike rescues me in some of them as well, and I just can't be bothered, and that is really lazy, and that is really, really bad. I should be self-sufficient so that if I don't have anyone around, I can do it for myself, but there's other stuff I want to do more, so, and there is loads of stuff that I still want to learn, but I'll get to them. Maybe, maybe not. Kids' favourite colours and food. So we had Happy Mail from the wonderful Amy, and she had done the Christmas decorations in the kids' favourite colours. One of them is black, one of them is green, one of them is pink,
the other one is red.
And the other one is red. So there you go. Black, green, red and pink. And food, anything snack, and you are going to gain their hearts. Whether it's sweet, savoury, cake, whatever.
Yeah.
Junk food. Typical pre-teens and teens, guys. They're just going to love you forever for all the snack stuff.
Give them a pot noodle for their tea, they'll be loving life. Give them something healthy, they'll go, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you were to receive a hand-knitted item, what would you want it to be? I appreciate knit stuff because I don't want to do it myself. Hand-knitted socks have always been appealing to me because I want to know how they feel different to store-bought socks. And I suppose a knitted hat, because knit hats look better than crochet hats, and that is just my opinion, but it's how I feel. And then obviously sweaters and stuff, but sweaters is a bit of a tall order, and you know, I would not expect that. So small items, a pair of socks or a hat, and I'd be well chuffed.
Scarf or a hat.
Yeah, there we go. So thank you, Elizabeth, for those that long list of questions. Oodles and Caboodles asks, why or how did flamingos become your favourite animal and mascot? Do you have any other favourite animals? Right, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on the channel before. Basically, flamingos are my favourite animal because there was a big craze here in the UK back along where it was everywhere, and they're pink. So I jumped on the bandwagon because everyone loved flamingos, and they're pink. Pink is my favourite colour. And I just think that they're awesome, and I admire the fact that they can stand on one leg all day if they have to. When really, in reality, I'm terrified of birds. Absolutely terrified of birds. They smell my fear, and they attack, and they have on more than one occasion, and different breeds of bird at that. So I think if I ever actually came face to face with a flamingo, I might be a little bit nervous and a bit dubious. But basically, they are big and pink and pretty cool, and they look good on stuff. So that's basically it. Before it was flamingos, when I was a child, I had a favourite teacher at primary school, and her favourite animal was frogs. She had frogs everywhere in the classroom, and I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. So my favourite animal was frogs. I grew out of that sort of like in my teens. And then I was too busy being a mum. I became a mum at 20. So I didn't really have a favourite animal for many, many years. And then I jumped on the flamingo bandwagon because they're my favourite colour. It's literally how generic it is, guys. And it's a bit disappointing. I'd like to say that I hand-reared one from birth. And I had this massive, you know, bonding love story with one. But I live in the UK. Flamingos are hard to come by. So I have not a cool story to tell on that one. They're just pink and pretty and awesome. And I like them. Shirley Spring 4905 asks, what will you make with the beautiful blue bobbin? I don't know. I'm just enjoying looking at it right now. It's right there. I need to give it some thought. Does your mum crochet on it? No, not currently, but when I was a small child she did knit. My nan taught her because my nan does knit. And back when I was smaller, my parents really struggled financially. They worked 2 or 3 jobs apiece. And when me and my brother were tiny, it was cheaper back then to knit jumpers and things, or sweaters and things for the tiny babies than it was to go out and buy a load of stuff. So they were very thrifty when we were small. And yes, we did have hand knit items from both my mum and my nan and anyone else in the family that could knit. But then when we got older and it wasn't really needed, and the babies in the family kind of, you know, stop, because you get to a point where no one else is having babies for a minute until the babies have babies, if you know what I mean. So there were no more babies to knit for, so it stopped, and she hasn't really picked it up since. So no, but she can knit, and my nan can as well. So there we go. I'm the only, what they call, you're the odd one out because you crochet. We both knit, and I'm like, yeah, crochet's always going to be my first love. Always will be. And then our beautiful Christina at Bella Uncinetto asks, have you ever had a different favourite colour? If so, what was it and when did it change? If not, what is the earliest time you can remember having a favourite colour? My favourite colours have always been pink and purple. Purple has fallen by the wayside a little bit. It's pink, rainbow and sparkles now. But pink has always been there, always. And you know what? I think I've gone into this before as well. My mum was very much a practical person, didn't want a girly girl. I was made to be pretty tomboy as I was growing up, you know, jeans, jumpsuits, overalls, not dresses, not skirts, not sparkly shoes or pretty bows in the hair, none of that. It was get your jeans on, we're going for a 10-mile walk. Get your jeans on, you're out in the garden helping your dad in the veg patch, you know, that sort of thing. So my mum never did the girly thing. So I think when I was old enough to start making decisions for myself, I rebelled against my mum and went super girly, all the things that she didn't like, and that's where I've stayed.
Fair enough.
So there you go.
For me, favourite colour growing up was blue. I was a boy. Blue was my favourite colour. It still is one of them,
Yeah,
to be
you still
fair.
wear quite
I'm
a lot
wearing
of blue. Yeah.
now. It changed to purple actually when I met Sam.
There's a story behind it. Are you going to fill them in?
The story is I say purple wrong, apparently.
You did. It's blended now, but when Mike and I first got together,
Purple.
because Mike is from a different area to me, not that far away, but far enough for our accents to be different, he said the word purple in conversation once.
And it was purr.
And he was like, purple. And I'm like,
just like
is that genuinely how you say that word? And he's like, what, purple? And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. I'm like, it's purple. Like, just purple. Purple. And then his little girl was saying it the same way, and it became a bit of a joke, a bit of an in joke, just
and that's
something
when
that
it became my favourite colour.
So ever since then, just to kind of not get at me, but just to kind of keep the joke going, he adopted it as his favourite colour. So there you go. Vigil Margaret asks, what UK YouTube channels do you follow? So I am going to inevitably end up forgetting people, and I am so sorry if I do. I am doing this off the cuff. I have not prepared this. I have not got my list of subscriptions in front of me, so please do not be offended. Crafty Moose Era, Sabrina Melajuice, Abby from Blue Heart Crochet, Linda Simpson, Crazy Poppy Lady Angela, Dinky Crafts Jennifer. I am gonna forget people. That's 6. I don't know, forgive me. I'm sorry. There are others, but they're the 6 that I could pull from my brain when I'm in the spotlight right now. So don't hate me. And if I did miss you, I give you full permission in the comments to go, what about me? And I'm sorry, I love you.
I am subscribed to a few of you.
Yes.
But
He doesn't watch a lot of the crochet content.
No, but I do follow Jacksepticeye, Fooster. I think that's it for the UK, to be fair.
Yeah,
PewDiePie was one of them, but he's
not UK though. Well, he is now. He's moved over here. But
he's in Japan
well,
now.
there you go. So I watch a lot more UK content than Mike does, but like I said, I've probably forgotten loads of you and really obvious ones of you, and I'm so sorry. J Paradise 6326 would love to know if you're going to do a subscriber blanket or something similar when you finally get a PO box. Well, it is when I finally get a PO box, guys, because just for me to get a PO box for 12 months is the best part of £400. And I cannot justify that, which is why I'm going to be saving my YouTube checks for quite a while until I have enough money to get one. I would love to do something like that, where you all send me something, I make a subscriber project and I have it to keep forever. A lot of people have done the subscriber blanket thing, and I think I would want to do something a bit different. but what, I don't know. It's not a possibility for me at the moment, so I haven't really given it a lot of thought. But yes, definitely, at some point I would like to do a collaborative subscriber something. But what that will be and what it will look like, I have no idea yet. And then finally, Judy in Michigan says, do you have any brothers and sisters? And the question is to us both. I'll start because I've got the shortest answer. One brother, he's 2 years younger than me.
Right, here comes mine.
Mike's
Right.
the eldest.
I'm the eldest out of my family, the siblings anyway. So I have one brother.
You'll go in order. It was you,
All
then
right.
it was...
Me, then my sister Ali, who's 3 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Then my other sister Kelly, who would be 9 years younger than me. And then my brother,
The youngest.
the youngest in that setting, who is 11 years younger than me. Then I have
Hang on, stop. That's from his mum's side.
Yes.
And Mike and his older sister share a dad.
Yes.
And the brother and sister that are 9 and 11 years younger have a different dad, hence the big gap.
Yes.
But that's on his mum's side.
Okay, then on my real dad's side, I have another sister.
Yeah.
There were other siblings for her, but
Are you still the eldest, including your dad's side, or
Yes.
not? You are.
I was the first.
All right.
I
was the first.
I'm actually the eldest out of all the cousins as well.
All right. Well, there you go.
So, yeah, and then...
So you have a sister from your dad's side.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say... That's it, really. I'm not going to say my stepdad's other side, because they're nothing to do with me, but...
No, so you have a half-sister.
I have a half-sister, and actually my other two siblings are halves as well.
Kelly and Tom.
Yeah.
I have one full blood brother who's 2 years younger than me. I'm the eldest. I'm one of two. Mike's one of 4 on his mum's side and one of 5 combined.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's a little bit tricky. But yes, we both have siblings. But neither one of us are particularly close to any of our siblings. So
Not really.
not that it's fine. It's just we're not in each other's pockets, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think all of us have grown up now, so
yeah, and we're all living our own lives and doing our own things, and we're just not that way with our siblings. So that is that, because that was the last question on our list, and we've kept you for the best part of an hour. So like I said, if any further questions come in, I will make a note of them, and we'll do another one of these question and answers, probably maybe after summer, to give the opportunity for more people to come along and discover us, and other people to think of questions. And obviously, if you do still have more questions, save them, because we will do these as well. I like to do it when there's been a nice chunk of time in between, and where we've got an influx of newbies come, because they're not going to know what you guys who have been here a while know. So sorry if there was any repeatage in this, but people join our family all the time, and not everyone goes back and watches your content from your first video onwards. And there are bigger content creators than us that probably have like 5, 6, 7 years worth of content, and you're not going to go back and watch all that from the beginning. So I completely understand.
Unless you're just sticking to that one channel.
Yeah, I mean, but I try and watch so many of you, and I try so hard, but I'm always behind, always. So if there is something that you have put out there that I need to know about, you may need to give me a nudge and go, Manfa, watch the other videos when you can, but you need to watch this one, because I don't want to miss anything. But also, if you do the tag thing because you've mentioned me or discussed something that I'm doing or whatever, always tag the people that you talk about in your videos, because they will then know that they need to watch that video, because it's now in your mentions tab on your channel. Anyway, that was a little bit of a diversion, and we're getting even closer to the hour point. So thank you very, very much for your time today. I hope our answers were satisfactory. We did it off the cuff. We didn't pre-plan, like I said, and if I have forgotten people, I'm so sorry. My memory isn't the greatest anyway, so when I'm put on the spot, I go, I don't know, because my brain goes, I'm not going to work for you now and make you look embarrassed and silly. So, what are you coming back for? We are putting this out on a Wednesday, so you're coming back tomorrow for Tile of the Week Thursday, and it is just me. But seeing as if I've got him sat next to me, come on, for old time's sake, come back for
Tile of the Week Thursday.
There you go. And I got so excited when I realised he was sat next to me that I even flubbed up asking him to do it. But there you go, guys. You've got an extra Tile of the Week Thursday from Mike. Yes, and thank you for doing the video with me. You will be seeing Mike again this weekend on our live, because this Saturday coming, when you're seeing this video, is our 2-year podiversary. So please do come for that. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. And you will also see him next week, because we'll have a taste testing video coming out for you. So he is still bobbing up from time to time. All right, I know you go, I miss Mike. Where's Mike coming back? He is coming on videos as and when he can, and there is no pressure on his shoulders whatsoever. So just enjoy him when you've got him, is all I'm gonna say. So until I see you tomorrow,
stay safe.
Be kind.
Look after one another.
Get some good quality time in with your loved ones.
Get some good quality crafting time in.
We will see you in the next one.
Or around these streets.
And he still hasn't forgot it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you.